All right, y'all. Had a water leak at school today. Lucky enough to get the day off. It's going to be 60 degrees today in Ohio. Right now it's 45 degrees. It is almost 11 o'clock in the afternoon. But I'm super excited to get to go do some fishing. Wow, it's been a while. First time I've pulled this boat with my truck for quite a while. Got the old rod mule loaded up here with all my Shimano G-Looms gear. And we're gonna go see if we can catch them. So whether we do or not, it's kind of yet to be seen. But the cool thing about it is we are headed to the lake, which I'm super pumped up about, if you can't tell that already. So again, stick around with us. We'll see if we can't go out and catch us a giant. One way or the other, I'm gonna show you guys some footage here of the GoPro Hero 8 Black. I'm also going to show you a new product from Lure Lock that I'm super pumped up about. We were talking, I was talking to the pro staff manager last year about this time. Actually, it was in the summertime. Asked him if they had any plans of new boxes coming out in a certain style. He said that they did. Super pumped up about it. I'm going to show you why I'm excited about it. Because I've always wanted a box that would be able to do what this one actually is not really designed for, but what I'm going to use it for, and it's going to be a game changer for me. So I'm gonna go get my boat loaded up. Gonna go out to either Yatesville or Grayson. I haven't made up my mind yet. One or the other. Yatesville is probably the better choice of the two, but Grayson is closer. So we'll find out where we're gonna go when we get there. So again, I got a whole entire rod mule loaded up with some of my favorite fall fish catching tactics. Jerk bait, chatter bait. I have a Jackall rattle trap tied on. A bunch of stuff that I hope I get bit on. Jig. I'm gonna have a a chunk crawl, a Zoom chunk crawl tied on with a 3/8 ounce tungsten. Tough to beat that when it's actually Texas rigged. So we're gonna get out there and try to catch them, but let me get my boat hooked up and go get some fuel on the boat. And again, you'll see where we're at when we arrive, same as I am. A bit of real talk here. One of my best friends on the planet, Jamie Baxter, who is an excellent musician, just released some new stuff, or is in the process actually of releasing some new stuff. Got some stuff out there. He's got a video on YouTube called Memories Don't Fade Here. It's a song that he wrote, and they just recently shot a video of it in our hometown of Cold Grove, Ohio. So I'm gonna link that down below here. So go out and take a look at that. You won't be disappointed. I know even if you're not from our area, you'll have the it'll have the same effect on you as it does everybody else. Everybody knows the same situations he's talking about in that thing. So go out there and show my boy some love if you don't care. All right, so about 10 miles away from Yatesville Lake, that's where I'm going. I decided to go to Yatesville. Couple of reasons why. Kyle and I were out here last week. Well, let's see, it was last week, actually 2 weekends ago, which now that it hits me, it might be a little too late in the year, but it was still a summer pool. So I'm hoping that it's not all the way dropped down to winter pool. As most of you guys know, I don't have the greatest graphs on my boat. I have a 6-inch Humminbird. It's a great graph for what it is, but it's pushing 14 years old. So it's 14-year-old technology. Doesn't do the justice for what we have today as far as technology and electronics. Problem is, I'm still paying on my boat. Don't have the money to buy those nice things, which I'll will be doing soon. Hoping to push my YouTube channel up enough that I can use some of the money coming in from YouTube to replace those things. So that's one of my deals about creating YouTube videos and showing my adventures on the water. But if this thing is down to winter pool, which I figure it probably is, I'm going to show you a very good way of how you could go break down some lakes if you want to get out and brave the cold. Like I said, it's not real cold here. It's 53 degrees, 54 degrees. It's supposed to be 60 by the time that everything is said and done. But go out there at winter pool to your local lakes. If you have lakes that drop down to winter pool, go check them out. Look for things on the bank. Look for stumps. Look for rocks. Look for laydowns. Look for, crevices on the bank. Look for any kind of structure that will be covered with water in the summertime. mark those on your graph. They don't have to be perfect where they're at. Just mark a GPS location. Just mark a waypoint on your graph. And that way, in the summertime, you can go back and get in a general vicinity of where those things are at. It also is very handy for stuff that's underwater, like stumps, rocks, and stuff like that, so you don't tear up your propeller and your lower unit and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, hopefully it's a summer pool and I don't have to deal with this. But if it is that winter pool, I'm going to show you a technique that I use, and that is finding stuff that's out of the water when you're at winter pool, marking it on your graph, and going back to it in the summertime. It sounds simple, and it really is, but it's a kind of a barbaric way of using a graph, which is okay. So Yatesville Lake, here we come. It is noon on a Thursday afternoon, and it is 53 degrees. Let's get this boat launched and go lean on them. How about it?
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Yo, squad shady, my bros raw. No breaks, we go, 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 go. Throw shade, that's a no, 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 no. Go high, go low, low, low. Like spinning in a 644. Cash money like 504. Ball like AD24. No sleep, need more, more, more. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Alright, so the water, I don't think it's quite at winter pool yet. It's really close though. So I'm gonna go around, check out some of these spots that I'm talking about where I know there's rocks that will be out of the water so you can see it. Again, I'm gonna mark them with my graph here, give you an idea of how far it is from the bank there. You can see normally the water level is up, up in this area right here. So if you don't know what that's for, why that is that this is a flood control lake. So they, bring it down in the wintertime in case we have a big snow and snow melt. It gives us a way to, to control the flooding in the area. That's why they do that. The dam is huge. It would take hundreds of feet of water, it seems like, to get over the dam. But I think it's more of a, an amount of pressure that it should be resisting. So this place is absolutely packed for a Wednesday in November, but we're gonna hit a couple spots. I think I'm gonna start out with the old Jackall disc knocker in escape crawl. Probably what I'm gonna be chucking around here. Water temperature 50 degrees, 51. So let's get after it. Again, guys, what I'm going to start out with here is going to be this disc knocker right here. I have that on this Loomis. Bingo. It's a really deep point. Comes off at a really steep angle. It's probably 30 foot deep where I'm sitting right here, but we'll fish around this point. There's some stumps. There's a big I guess you'd call it a timber bed back there, some standing timber. It doesn't seem like there's much happening on this bank, but as we were coming down this bank, I noticed there's a lot of stumps and stuff sticking out under the water line, the normal water line. So these are the exact types of banks I'm talking about marking on your graph. I've already have these marked, so I'm not going to mark them again. But so I'm throwing a Jackall jerk bait here. This thing right here, if you've never heard a Jackall jerk bait like this is a Rerange 110. I'll see if I can throw it past you here. It sounds like your line is breaking every time. Listen. Hopefully you heard that. It has a weight that actually moves back and forth in the chamber of the lure. I've thrown a disc knocker, which is a lipless crankbait, rattle trap of sorts. Threw a chatterbait for a minute. I don't think it's the right color though. I think it's a little too dark. The water's super semi-clear, but it's turning over. It's getting dark, so I'm gonna change that to a lighter color. Maybe throw another color trailer on there. I've been fishing around this timber for a little bit now. Not gotten bit. Like I said, the water temperature is about 50 degrees in the fall here, so I figured they might be hugged up on this stuff here. It's overcast. Looks like it's going to rain. It's not supposed to. I'm throwing this Zoom speed crawl with a 3/8 ounce tungsten tour grade Strike King tungsten on a Texas rig here. Beating around some of this timber. But the thing about it is, as fishermen, you have to understand that what you think looks good also looks good to every other fisherman on the planet. So I'm going to try today to get away from that and try to fish spots that I don't normally fish or have never fished and see what comes of it. Again, I'm just beating around. I don't really expect to catch a whole lot or even any fish today. I'm just scoping a lake out trying to catch a fish. Again, guys, I enjoy the being out in nature just as much as catching fish. It's all about the experience. It's all about the amount of time you get to spend, basically, I don't come fishing to find myself. I come fishing to lose myself. I want to get out of the world. I want to get the hustle and bustle of my everyday life out of my head, catch some fish. So catching fish is just a bonus in my opinion, but I'm gonna catch one before the day's over. You wait. Tad bit chilly. Getting quite a bit of rain here. See they're hitting on the water, but one thing I want to show you here about the GoPro Hero 8 Black, especially when you're using the Yolatech Power Stick 53. This is a version 1 or Gen 1. There's a Gen 2 out, but usually you can see right here on this lower connection there is a silicone putty. With the GoPro Hero 8, the whole door has to come off to connect the power, which is a major design flaw, especially if you're using the Yolatech there. If you're interested in getting your hands on a Yolatech, by the way, they're one of the most amazing products for a fisherman, especially if you're recording your stuff. But keep that in mind if you're going to buy a GoPro Hero 8 and use one of those. We're going to have to come up with something to deal. You could fill it all the way up with that putty, but it would take quite a bit. So see what we can do. But I'm going to put my cameras up, try to catch a fish or two. If it don't stop raining here soon, you're going to see the old drive home. I was telling you about the new box from Lure Lock that I'm super excited about. It's their deep box, and I think it is obviously meant for spinner baits, bigger baits, stuff like that. It's a lot deeper, but it's going to be a game changer for me because I'm going to store my soft plastics in this box. It is going to be an absolute game changer for me. I've been looking for a way to store my soft plastics. They're stuck in there by the bottom of the bag, so I can, you know, basically use this thing as like a Rolodex. Find my baits. This center section right here will come out. You know, again, this is divided or bifurcated for spinner baits. Matter of fact, if you look right here, you can actually see the indentions for spinner baits, or you know, you can hang jerk baits or whatever you wanted on there. But this is going to be an absolute game changer for me, because I've always looked for a way to store soft plastics in bags where I can actually go through them without you know, destroying everything or having them all over the boat. So if you dig through and you want to find something that you want to use, fairly simple, like this chunk crawl right here. I just open the bag up just like you would anything else, get one out of there, close it back up, and again, I have this Rolodex style bait organizer. I have this divider in here right now because I don't want my bags falling over and getting stuck to the Elastec in the bottom of this lure lock box. But this thing is phenomenal. I cannot express how awesome this thing is for keeping your baits in there and organized, which is really cool. So this is the deep box from Lure Lock, and boy, am I glad I found this thing. Locked in there, baby. That is amazing, dude. This thing is awesome. If you want to know how to get your hands on one, head up to the tackle box in South Point, Ohio. They carry them. If not, get a hold of me. We'll make sure you get your hands on one. There is a link in the description below for an Amazon link if you guys would like to get your hands on this. This is a game changer when it comes to soft plastic organization. And again, guys, it's not even designed for that, but that's the cool thing. Case in point, what I was talking about, marking stuff that you can't see, you know, and it's in summer pool. There's a rock pile. There's a log sticking up right here. This rock pile is fairly large, but it's going to be in about 15 foot of water in the summertime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a waypoint on my front graph here in just a second. They're networked, but that way I can come back to this thing or this same spot in the summertime and try to pick a couple fish off from it, because you know, 15 foot of water, some rocks, some timber. And guys, again, this is stuff that people can't see with their naked eye. So again, what I said a second ago or earlier today is, if it looks good to you, it looks good to every other fisherman on the planet as well. So we're going to see, you know, if this thing holds some fish in the summertime, we're gonna mark it, you know, and I may never fish it again. But if I come through here on a day where I'm having trouble catching fish, I know I can pull up here and maybe catch one. I'll tell you one thing though, I've thrown this Jackall Rerange for a little bit today. They don't seem to be eating this jerk bait at all. I don't know why. Water temperature's 50 degrees. You'd think they'd be chewing on it. So through a jig, I've thrown a chatterbait again, through the disc knocker, the liftless crankbait. I don't know what they're eating. So I'm gonna slow down, do some pitching and flipping and see what we can get. But let's see if we can't pick one up off this rock pile. There's one. Jerk bait off that rock pile. That's what I'm talking about. Love when a plan comes together. She's not gonna be a keeper out here. It's 15 inches, but I tell you what, I'll take a fish any day of the week, twice on Sunday. Just as it's starting to rain again. Not a giant, but I'll take him. I saw it there a second ago. I told you that I didn't think they were going to eat the jerkbait. Literally the next cast on that rock pile that I was telling you about marking, I caught one. So again, this is a Jackall Rerange 110. So a lot of people think that throwing a jerkbait on a shorter rod is better. Sure, well, it kind of is. I like throwing it on a 7 foot. So this is actually a 7.2 medium heavy Shimano X Pride rod. Again, 172 medium heavy. This thing right now is my favorite jerkbait rod on the planet. It is 7 foot 2 inches long. A little long for a jerkbait rod. A lot of people like the shorter style so it doesn't hit the rod, or you don't hit the rod on the boat or on the water. But this is one of my favorite rods on the planet. You can see I got it paired up with an older Chronarch 200 E6, 6.5 to 1 gear ratio. Just a phenomenal setup for this style of fishing. Biggin. That might be a biggin. He's not a biggin, but went straight Mike Iaconelli on you. Big, and I said went straight Ike on you. So again, back when I said the fish weren't eating a jerk bait, I was sadly mistaken. I'm super glad I didn't put this thing down. They're not giants by any means, but man, are they fun to catch. So a couple of, I'm building a pattern here. There's a rocky bank, semi steep, not giants, but they're eating this thing. So I'm pausing a little more often than I was before, but maybe we're on to something. Saved myself a ton of money with that thing right there. I got a video how to make these things on YouTube. I'll show the link. I'll throw the link up here so you guys can check it out. It's just a 3-ounce sinker poured around a snap swivel. So here it was, man. I got a little day off work because of water leak for the school. Took advantage of it for little fishing at Yatesville. Guys, I appreciate you guys checking out my channel. I'd appreciate it if you would share it with all of your fishing freak buddies. It would definitely help me out a ton. Got 2 fish. Jackall Rerange 110 white. I think they actually call it bone. I'm not sure. I can't really remember it off the top of my head actually. But anyway, good day of fishing. I got about a 40-minute drive home. Catch 2 fish better than none. So till next time, guys, get out there and lean on them anytime you can. Catch them, catch them, catch them. Tag me on Facebook, On Another Line on Facebook. Again, obviously you're seeing this on YouTube as well. So, appreciate you guys sticking around for this crazy episode of On Another Line. We'll see you next time. Same bat channel, same bat time. We're gonna go catch them again at some point. It's winter time now. I'll have to see if we can get another day. So, see y'all. Thanks for watching.